Hello, I'm Patrick. In this presentation, I'll be discussing on the subject titled Who are your leaders? Over the years, the subject of leadership has been something that is of great importance as the success of any organization or any country is basically dependent on how the leader is able to manage the affairs of the organization. It's about um, leadership is about the ability of someone to be able to build a relationship with people such that they are able to follow um, the leader. They're able to see the vision that the leader has, and they're able to key into the vision and follow the vision towards and follow the leader towards the attainment of the set goal. So in this presentation, I'll be discussing, I'll be focusing on the three set of people that I consider to be a great leaders who has um, impacted my life and who I sort of emulate their characters, and I aspire to to be like them to achieve the milestones that they have achieved over the years. The number one person on my presentation is Apostle Korede Oguntoye. Apostle Korede Oguntoye is the senior pastor and founder of Supreme Church. Supreme Church is actually a Christian organization that was established in the UK in the year 2005 before he relocated back to Nigeria in furtherance of the gospel and the vision that God has given to him. So basically, Supreme Church is more like is a religion organization that offers a lot of charitable works to his charitable support to his members. Apostle Korede has, over the years since he came back to Nigeria, distinguished himself as an outstanding leader, considering the fact that um, I have seen, we've read in the news how pastors have used church fund for their personal aggrandizement. We've seen pastors drive exotic cars, acquire private jets with church money. But I have seen real life um, scenario of how this man of God has been able to manage the resources at his disposal, both his personal fund and the church fund. He has devoted it to the improvement of the life of people that are under him through provision of financial support, uh, food relief, and health, health, um, health support to its members who are less privileged. He is somebody that I have seen go extra mile to support the people that are under him. So with this, I consider him to be somebody of great value to my life and to the Nigerian society. One of the things I admire about him is his level of intelligence. Uh, this man is somebody that I've seen demonstrated outstanding creative and innovative ability. His ability to bring things out of nowhere is so amazing. I've seen him um, you know, say things or do things, and then you wonder how did he get it? Where is this one coming from? How come I have never seen this before? For instance, in the area of interpretation of the scripture, I personally consider myself as somebody who read the Bible a lot. But sometimes when it says some things out of the scripture, and but I've read that same place before. How come on this I didn't say it? For that, I consider him to be very intelligent. One other things that I admire so much about him is his ability to listen to people. He has a unique ability to hear people no matter what they are saying. He will listen calmly. He will not get provoked. He will listen from the beginning to the end without interruption. Personally, I, I grew up, you know, sometimes when I'm having conversation with people and they say things that I am not okay with or things that I perceive not to be true, I naturally would jump in and say, oh, no, that's not true. Oh, that's not the way it is. But when I came in contact with Apostle Kurede, I realized that he doesn't jump in. He will listen to you. And when you are done talking, he would reiterate everything you have said just to confirm he heard you clearly. Now, one thing that I love so much about his ability to listen is the fact that I've seen him use it to disarm people on a several occasions. I have seen him use this ability to gain advantage over people. I've seen him use it to, turn the table around to his favor over the years. So after a while, I started emulating that style because I have seen the benefits that you get when you listen to people. In the aspect of his character, is somebody that is, is somebody that I consider to be of great integrity. He's a man of of integrity. When he says things, he would surely do it. He will not say what he cannot do. But when he says it, he will go extra mile to make sure he brings it to reality. He's a man of integrity. He will not call black white. He will not call white black. He will not say what he doesn't have power to do. He will not say empty words. He will tell you, don't say too much. If you cannot do it, don't put yourself under pressure. Tell them you are working on it. And when you can do it, do it. If you cannot do it, then don't promise. He's a man of integrity. Another thing I appreciate so much about him is the fact that he's highly committed to excellence. He like to do things excellently. He usually tell us, I will say, I am a man that is building a ministry of excellence. I want everything to be spot on. I want everything to be perfect. Our God is perfect, and so He expects us to do things perfectly. He's very concerned about how He arranges things. He's very concerned about how He presents Himself. He's very concerned about the image that He's projecting to the public. Before now, I will just naturally do that. I say, well, nobody is looking at me. I'll just do things the way I like. But after learning from him, I realized that a lot of people are looking at me, and it is important that I present myself the way I want people to perceive me. I became more conscious of how I do my things in my work, in my business, in my family. I became more concerned about how I arrange, how I organize my life. And so he has been of great influence in my life in that aspect. I also admire him in the area of sincerity and inclusiveness. He's a man that always want to carry everybody along. He will say no. He will say if you um, hear from everybody, it gives you an opportunity to polish your idea. They will tell us that if everybody contributes to the idea, if they are all carried along, if anything goes wrong, nobody is going to blame anybody because we know that we made the decision together. So if it goes wrong, we all accept the blame, and if it goes right, we all take the glory. So he always want to carry. He will always go extra mile to ensure that everybody is involved. Whenever he want to do anything, he will seek for advice. He will ask people, seek for other people's opinion. Like before now, I used to have a slang, which is I do my things my way. I always want to do things in my own way. I don't want I don't want to hear from other people. But after learning from him, I realized that there's so much benefit in hearing from other people. It gives you an opportunity to polish the idea, and that is the kind of leader I want to be. So, in the area of how he has impacted my life, uh, he has impacted my life. I have learned um, so much in the aspect of negotiation. He's someone that I consider to be very, very skillful in negotiating. He knows how to swing things to his advantage, and that is because he knows how to listen to people. He also has amazing technical skills. It's somebody that has idea of almost everything that you can think of: health, engineering, electrical works, and all of that. He has an idea of everything that he's doing, and immediately I came in contact with him, I picked that ability. For instance, I started learning how to take picture. I started learning photography from him because he knows how to do that. And over the years, I developed strong skills in that. To the extent that he acknowledged that I am now even better than him in photography. I learned how to and do sound engineering from him. I picked several skills from him: carpentry, how to, supervise people when they are working for me. He would tell me, stay with them. The people doing it there, they don't have to yet. Don't assume that they know it all. You are the one who has the picture of what you want to do. So stay with them and guide them to give you that picture. I learned that from him, and I have used it to manage my life effectively, and I consider it to be of great benefit in my family. Uh, After my journey, over the years, through my learning from him, I have been able to improve my life, to improve my family. I've been able to build a better relationship with people. I now know how to talk to people. I now know how to relate more with people. And so I consider him to be somebody who has been of great impact in my life. My second leader that I'll be considering in this presentation is Alhaji Aliko Dangote. Alhaji Aliko Dangote is the chairman of Dangote Group of Company. Uh, is of course the richest man in Africa and one of the richest men in the world with an estimated net worth of $11.1 billion. Over the years, this man has projected himself as one of the finest leaders in this era and one of the best in Africa. I am particularly thrilled with his ability to venture into various um, business sector and still record remarkable success. I sometimes wonder how he does it because I want to believe that it's not as if he has gone to school to study each of these sectors. So he has business in telecommunication, in oil and gas, in manufacturing, in banking, in food processing, in tech space. And there's no record of him having education in all of these sectors, but he has done remarkably well uh, in each of his business um, 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 experience in this sector. So I over the years, I have followed him closely and learned how he has been able to manage himself through all of this business venture. One thing I discovered is the fact that he is a man that knows how to harness the skills and the strength of the people around him, and that's why I consider him to be a great leader. A leader, a good leader is someone who will lay down the vision and allow people to run with it. That we have seen. I have seen Alhaji Dangote, uh, you know, exhibit over the years. Also, I consider him to be a man of integrity and a man that loves quality. So about 5 years ago, I was working on a particular article with my sister, who is a journalist, and we had to do some research about Dangote. And one of the things he said in in a particular journal that we read is the fact that he said it's not as if he has all the money to execute all of his business plans, but there is one thing that he has done successfully, that he has been able to build a relationship of integrity with people such that whenever he has a business idea he wants to execute, irrespective of the amount involved, he doesn't worry about the money. He will just reach out to people and say, "Oh, there's this business that I want to do," and before you know it, the money start coming for. They will just naturally release the money to him because they trust him that he will keep his word. Whatever agreement he has had with them, he will surely keep it. With that, I consider him to be a man of integrity, to be a leader who has integrity, a leader who has been able to build a relationship that is based on true value. And one crucial aspect that he has brought to the table is the fact that two Nigerians will consider him to be somebody who give us hope. Um, Over the years, the country has suffered so much setback as a result of the fact that we do not have a refinery that can refine our petroleum product. Government has not been able to do it, and no individual has been able to build a refinery since 1960. But recently, Dangote launched one of the biggest refinery in the world, which is currently under construction. Our hope and belief in Nigeria is that when this resources refinery is completed, um, the pressure that is placed on the naira on account of the fact that we have to always buy petrol from other country with naira. Well, we have to always exchange naira for dollar to buy petrol from other currency. Will be greatly reduced, and the country can they can begin to sort of have stable currency, um, and the masses as well can begin to enjoy um, a bit of relief as time goes on when the refinery pick up fully. Um, Most importantly, I consider Dangote as a great leader who is highly committed to nation building. He has ensured that all of his businesses are you know, are in Nigeria. We've seen several businessmen, politicians in Nigeria who you know, gather all the money together and start cheating in a bank overseas. But Dangote has not done so. He has ensured that he continued to use his money to create businesses uh, that is providing employment to the Nigerian citizens. For this, I admire him and I consider him to be a great leader. He has impacted my life um, in a special way, especially in the area of relationship. I don't know how he does it, but I have watched him closely since um, the military era to democracy era. He has been able to build a successful relationship with politicians. His romance with the Nigerian government is so amazing. From every administration to from every administration to a new one, he has been able to maintain his influence in the corridors of power with every president, every new leader that we have in Nigeria. You will always see him at the forefront. You will always see him, you know, relating with them, and you know, with this relationship, he has been able to amass so much wealth to himself. Like he easily gets contract from the government. So this area is one area that I am particularly working on. Uh, that I feel if that I'm constantly working on to improve myself and the ability to build relationship with people so that I can leverage on it whenever I need to. And finally, the third leader that I will be considering is the late Obafemi Awolowo. Obafemi Awolowo is indeed an amazing statesman that has um, that every Nigerian has always uh, referred to as a great leader. Over the years, he has influenced the country in several ways. He is highly committed to nation building, and is a man that we acknowledge as the forefather of our Nigerian modern day democracy. He's a lawyer by profession and a journalist, and he laid the foundation for the legal system that we all enjoy in Nigeria today. He's actually the first premier of the Western region, and he was the one who started free education in Nigeria. Um, from the story I heard from my parents, I heard that when the nation was going to start free education, so we had, as at that time, we had three premier. We had the premier of Western region, the premier of Eastern region, and the premier of the Northern region. So the three of this premier came together and to discuss on the issue of free education. The remaining two, the Northern and the Eastern region premier, said they do not have the resources to fund free education. But he stood his ground and said, we will look for the resources. We will give free education. Now, one notable fact about Awolowo is the fact that he is highly committed to giving, to empowering the people, giving them freedom through infrastructural development, education provision, and um, liberation, as it were. Is highly committed to developing the people, give them power to stand on their own. That has been his agitation from the onset. In fact, he's a man that is credited to be the best president that Nigeria never had. So he stood his ground and he brought free education to Nigeria, and we all enjoy it today. And as a result of that, the western part of Nigeria happened to be the most developed part in Nigeria. The western part of Nigeria happened to be the most educated part in terms of infrastructural development. The western part of Nigeria is the best in terms of innovation, quality, in terms of freedom, in terms of how people are able to accommodate each other in terms of exposure. The western part of Nigeria is undoubtedly the number one when it comes to every aspect that we can think of. And thanks to Awolowo, who stood his ground to give us this um, advantage. Is a man that is credited to be highly intelligent. I could remember one of the story I heard about him during the Civil War, that without picking up a gun, he was able to give government a counsel that ended the Civil War, because his counsel was that why fighting the East and you're still feeding them. So he advised the government to stop the vehicle that is supplying food to the East. And after a while, when the people started growing hungry, they stopped fighting. And that was how he ended the Civil War. Another area he has another character that endeared me to him is the fact that he is always committed to empowering people. He doesn't want people to be enslaved. He wants them to enjoy freedom. He wants them to be empowered. He wants them to be able to stand on their own. I found it to be very, very interesting and to be very amazing. He has impacted me personally in the areas of education. Perhaps I wouldn't have been able to afford education like several other Nigerians in other parts if he had not um, stood his ground in the area of free education. So I enjoyed his legacy of free education. And in, in whatever I do, I always, one of the things I always ask myself is, what would I want to be remembered for when I will be no more? So I always check myself and say, oh, this man we are remembering this man for giving us empowerment, for giving us free education. So I also want to be remembered for something. Uh, Recently, I was introduced as the secretary of Nextford Entrepreneur Learning Community, and every time we're having discussion with the other leaders, my concern is, let's just do something. I want to do something that when we are no longer in the school, they will still be remembering us for it. We want to create things that other students that will be coming after us will be able to enjoy. Um, I'm always very passionate about leaving a legacy that people will remember me for. Um, so these are the ways that I have um, gained from all of these three leaders that I admired so much, and I hope to continue to learn from from their um, characters, from their strengths, and to keep polishing myself until I attain my ultimate goal. Um, Thank you.